Okie dokies, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get our scoreboard overlay working for us, not against us in this PvP. But considering it's PvP, nobody knows who is against who, as both players are the same race. And we do have MAdel going to be spawning down in the bottom position here as a orange Protoss. And over to the west, the winner of our previous game with a very convincing 4 game, Mr. dBlinG, going to be spawning here as the pink Protoss. So, I don't get commercials either, just an ad. If you don't get commercials, either you've got ad blocker on, and if you want to turn that off to help mouse bots, that's cool. Or you're in a country that doesn't actually have commercials, which is also cool. So, it's fine. There you go. So, Mr. dBlinG, the winner of our previous game, going for a very, very strong 4-gate. And, you know, I mean, again, you know, even against... MAdel just didn't actually have any sentries and didn't kill off the probe that was making pylons, which, you know, all this stuff kind of adds up and doesn't really kind of help when you're going up against a 4-gate. In theory, unless your opponent hides a pylon in your base somewhere, like here somehow, technically, if you're playing to a standard build, you should never lose to a 4-gate, unless it's like some ridiculous, super fast Korean 4-gate where people only make zealots, which is a bit silly anyway, but yeah. So, Mr. MAdel not actually adhering to those statutes. If you want to know the build of that, you can actually go over to Team Liquid, and there's actually a strategy thread. It was like a day or two ago, showing you a lovely build to deal with 4-gate in this matchup, so do check that out. So for now, Mr. dBlinG going to be scouting around in his opponent's base to see the gas timing, cybernetic score timing as well. Now the player going for any kind of ridiculously fast gateways or cybernetic scores, very, very standard right now. And we'll get a second gas going to be going down here for both players. So again, very, very normal. Nothing too crazy going on here. And... Okay, so for the most part, let's see what Mr. MAdel sees. He doesn't see anything right now. He hasn't scouted anything at all. It looks like blinG is not going to be going for another 4-gate. Chrono boosting heavily on that initial Stalker. We'll want to get that out to be able to deal with any kind of early aggression that Mr. MAdel has actually put on. I think the interesting part is that blinG has actually skipped the initial Zealot. And normally when you see an opponent actually skipping the initials... Okay. So, we do have some Phoenix play on the way for Mr. blinG here. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool indeed. Oh god, did he see the Robo? Oh, did he see the Robo? Oh god, he showed the Robo. Oh... Oh, why did you show? Oh, okay. So I was thinking, wow, Phoenix. Okay, that's a pretty bold statement, blind Phoenix. And then I realized, oh, he saw the Robo. That is pretty cool indeed. So, yeah, if he makes Immortals or Colossus, they're not going to be very good against Phoenix. Do you know why they're not going to be very good against Phoenix? Because if they're Immortals, they're going to pick him up. They're going to be like. And then if it's Colossus, if he eventually transfers into Colossus tech, he is going to be up that paddle, that creek without a paddle, basically. Very, very scary. Phoenix are surprisingly good against Colossus. What is going on? Am I lagging? I think that was me. I do apologise to these players. Don't kill me. So Phoenix are on the way. We do have a second Phoenix on the way here. blinG! This initially was a super, super risky build. If MAdel had got a little bit kind of more aggressive, but at the same time, he did a good job of scouting what was going on. Again, this is all he knows right now. He knows that the Robo was there as well as that initial gateway. These two gateways, he doesn't know that these are down, but he didn't actually need to know that these two gateways were down in order to be able to go for what he was going for. Unless, of course, they were like hidden somewhere, but that would have been ridiculous. It's really interesting that he's actually showing these two Phoenix this early on. Normally, you see kind of 3 or 4 Phoenix before you push in and use that energy up. Oh, I see why I'm lagging. Star Wars The Old Republic has randomly opened itself. Go away. What the hell? Why did it do... Okay, so paint as well. My PC's having a spasm. Okay. So, indeed, the third Phoenix does rendezvous. Now, the big thing for Bling right now is he doesn't want to use up too much of this energy. Otherwise, when this push does come, he's going to be in a pretty bad situation. And does pick... Oh, he gets a sentry! Oh, is he going to get a second sentry? Oh, lovely pick off by Bling. That is actually really, really well done. Going to fall back with a few of these units. He knows that those two Immortals can do a lot of damage. He does have a few more lifts saved up in these guys, so he will be able to negate the damage of these Immortals very, very nicely. Kale, you just showed me your email. Did I? Oh, that doesn't matter. Okay, so... we have a few Zealots going to be warping in here. He needs to be able to deal with this. This is a relatively scary force actually moving across here. The basic thing for these Phoenix is he needs to negate the Immortal damage very, very quickly. That is very, very important right now, but he's actually getting a few of these units separated. Bling is potentially going to lose some very, very valuable units indeed. Does lose the Stalker as well as a Sentry. Falls back for now, though, as there are Zealots in his mineral line. Nice Proxy Pylon was able to deal with that. Deal that damage, but at the same time, nice use of those warping Zealots. Did kill off 5 workers. Oh, does he have... no, he doesn't have any targets, and... ooh, almost loses Ace. And Phoenix. So does lose a Phoenix, as that Observer was very, very nicely positioned. More Zealots going to be warping in here. Bling trying to put on some pressure, but at the same time, Adele is pushing in with a crazy, crazy attack force. There isn't a whole lot that these Phoenix can do against this, but at the same time, that is a lot of Zealots if he can negate the damage, and indeed he will. And also, this will be able to close the gap from these Zealots and these Immortals. Once they fall down, the Zealots are going to be right next to them. He picks them up once again, though, to try and negate the damage. A lot of Stalkers warping in once again. These Zealots in the main, though, are able to rip up a lot of the probes of Millennium Scots. And I can't help but feel he maybe should have just sat around the Immortals and killed them off with the Zealots. And the Stalkers are, meanwhile, able to kill off a lot of what Bling's doing here. That being said, he actually has no probes. Is Bling just... okay, so he's trying to run away, but these Zealots are going to be very, very pesky in this main. At the same time, though, I don't think Bling has anything in which he can do from here on. This is going to be very, very difficult. A lot of probes coming out to the expansion. Bling has enough for a Nexus! Oh god, Bling has enough for a Nexus! Okay, so unit counting station right now is 1 Immortal, 8 Stalkers, 3 Sentries, and 1 Zealot against 5 Zealots. So, he could make a... he could make an expansion somewhere else. He's trying to kill off this pylon. He knows... oh, but he has another pylon over here as well. Okay, so Mr. Millennium Adels has not remade at base. Both players are relatively even on supply, but that is because Bling has a lot of probes out right now. Phoenix being almost suicidal. Where are you going to make this base? Where are you going to make this base? You don't have any sentries. He's going to try and rendezvous and just kind of go for an all-out engagement. So these Phoenix, more important than anything, need to negate... probably the Immortal. I mean, none of these units are armored, but 25 damage a shot is still really, really strong. And here we go. Here comes the final engagement. Looks like he's going to be picking up a Stalker. All the probes going to be coming in as well. Probes don't do actually that badly against Immortal, but it doesn't matter. GG, ladies and gentlemen. Millennium Adele Scott does win game number 2. We're going to go on to game number 3 in just a second.